You've finally done it, you bought a new home, tucked away in a quiet suburb, surrounded by beautiful green hills and distant jungle. The listing was suspiciously cheap, but you brushed it off. A fixer-upper, they said. Some local history, nothing to worry about. But now, it's 3 in the morning, and you're wide awake again. The sound of soft footsteps creaks above your ceiling, even though you live alone. The mirrors in the bathroom are fogged up, though there's no heat running. And every night, like clockwork, the smell returns. Frangipani. Sweet, rotting, and familiar. It's the flower of death. All of a sudden your phone buzzes, you check your phone, and you've received a message from an unknown number. She's back. You just bought a house in Malaysia. And it's haunted. Welcome to the Glimp. Malaysia is a land of crossroads. Not just in trade or people, but in the unseen. Here, Malay shamans perform jungle rituals, while Chinese mediums burn joss paper under the moonlight. Indian prayers blend with animist offerings. And in the shadows of the city, and the depths of the jungle, spirits thrive. Some are tied to ancient curses. Others to trauma. But all of them, every single one, is believed to walk alongside the living. And once you meet them, you might never walk alone again. There's no shortage of ghost stories in Malaysia, and when you think about it, the supernatural is as varied as the cultures that inhabit this land. Some spirits are bound to old traditions, others are shaped by pain or desperation. But sometimes, it's not even the obvious ones that'll get you. Take insects, for example. A tiny demonic creature that takes the form of an insect, usually a grasshopper or beetle. This is known as a Pelesit, and it's not the type of ghost you'd expect. And yet, it's a force to be reckoned with. Controlled by a bomo, or shaman, the Pelesit can possess someone, tormenting them with fevered madness. It's a sneaky, terrifying spirit that slinks into your body, making you lose control, like a parasite that controls a bug. The worst part? Once it's inside, there's no turning back. But not all spirits come crawling from the shadows like the Pelesit. Some spirits claim homes, just like the one you just bought, and they own them. Mona Fanday's house, or as some locals call it, the aeroplane house, is a good example of one of these places. Once a pop singer, Mona Fanday became infamous as a witch doctor who dabbled in black magic. In 1993, she and her husband, along with an accomplice, lured politician Dato' Mazlan Idris to their home. He believed that they were going to do a spiritual ritual. But instead, the house became the scene of a horrific murder. The trio brutally slaughtered Mazlan, hacking his body apart in a ritual that was said to summon supernatural forces. But the ritual never went as planned. Instead of power, it unleashed a curse, and the house became a prison of restless spirits. When authorities discovered the gruesome crime, they were left horrified by the bloodstains and eerie sensations that clung to the walls of the house. Mona Fanday, along with her accomplices, was arrested, and the chilling details of her dark magic came to light. She was executed in 2001, but the house remains a place of whispers and fear. Locals speak of strange occurrences, disembodied screams, flickering lights, and the haunting shadow of a figure that appears in the window. Some claim to hear footsteps at night, but no one is ever there. The unfinished airplane in the yard, once a symbol of ambition, now serves as a macabre reminder of the life taken within the house. So, after learning this, it's obvious that you decide to flee your house. You leave it behind. The knocking, the whispers, the frangipani. You need a place to stay. Somewhere clean, safe and normal. But you didn't find a new house yet, so you check into a hotel. But this is Malaysia. And your nightmare is just beginning. High above the clouds, in the misty hills of Highlands, there stands a building. A building with faded red bricks, dozens of balconies, towering high, but still forgotten. This is Amber Court Hotel. Once a luxury getaway, now a decaying shell of what it was, and one of Malaysia's most notoriously haunted places. Guests talk about the children. You'll hear them running down empty corridors, giggling behind locked doors. The elevators, they move by themselves, stopping on floors that no longer exist. Lights flicker in abandoned wings. One couple left in the middle of the night, after waking to something standing at the foot of their bed, a black figure with no face. They couldn't scream and couldn't move. They could only watch the black figure, as it stared back to them. Some locals believe the land was never meant for humans, that it belongs to the Orang Bunian, the hidden people. And now, the hotel stands half alive, caught between two worlds. Okay, let's try another hotel. Option number 2, First World Hotel. This hotel shouldn't be too bad, it's colorful, great looking, and it's officially the largest hotel in the world. Over 7,000 rooms, lights, music, casinos and tourists everywhere. Until you step into the wrong place. Because what they don't see, is what lies beneath. Hidden rooms. Whole floors sealed off. Staff refuse to speak about them, but stories slip through. A Chinese medium once claimed that hundreds of spirits live here, bound by suicides, accidents, and rituals gone wrong. Guests talk about waking up with scratches. Hearing chanting in the walls. And in some rooms, a woman in white hanging upside down from the ceiling, watching as you sleep. You leave the hotel. Don't even think about checking out, you just leave. Maybe you drove through the night, maybe you called someone to pick you up. You don't talk about what happened. You barely sleep. But eventually, things start to feel more quiet. You tell yourself it's over. But in Malaysia, some ghosts don't stay behind. They follow. Have you ever seen yourself, when you weren't supposed to? Hantu Raya is a spirit that takes your shape. A powerful entity summoned through dark rituals and black magic deals with something far older than gods. It starts as a servant. It can work your job, show up at gatherings, even fool your family, but over time, it changes. It gets hungry. It begins to like being you. And if you don't keep feeding it, or worse, if you forget the rituals, it stops waiting for permission. Some say it will kill its master. Others say it becomes something else entirely. Something that walks free. With your face. The legends of Hantu Raya are deeply rooted in local folklore and have crossed into pop culture, echoing themes found in doppelganger myths, where a malicious duplicate takes on a person's form. The fear of an imposter living your life is primal, the loss of self, the invasion of something dark and foreign. In Malaysian culture, Hantu Raya is not just a ghost story but a warning against dabbling in dark forces. Though believed to still be summonable today through hidden rituals, Hantu Raya isn't to be taken lightly. Once invited into your life, it doesn't just mimic you, it seeks to become you, and if you're not careful, it might just take everything. Deep in the jungles, beyond where the GPS stops, there are trails that vanish. Villages that don't appear on any map. People say, don't look too long at the trees, they might be looking back. These are the lands of the Orang Bunian, the hidden folk. They look human, and they live in golden cities. But you can only see them if they allow it. And sometimes, they take people. Not out of cruelty, but curiosity. In 2005, a boy vanished in Perak for 10 days. Search teams found nothing. When he reappeared, he was barefoot, clean and unhurt. He said he was taken to a palace. He wasn't hungry. He didn't feel time pass, and he still dreams of it every night. The Orang Bunian are believed to live in hidden, ethereal realms, invisible unless they choose to reveal themselves. Legends tell of their golden cities and graceful beings, indistinguishable from humans. Their encounters with humans are rare but have been reported for centuries, such as the case of a Dutchman who vanished in the early 1900s and returned with a similar tale of a golden palace. Orang Bunian lore is particularly prevalent in Malaysia's jungles, especially in Perak, Pahang, and Kelantan. Locals avoid these places, fearing the spirits may lead them astray or take them forever. Some say the Orang Bunian are benevolent, helping lost souls, while others warn of their vengeful side. The boy's disappearance in 2005 adds to this long history, blurring the line between myth and reality. There's one ghost whose name still sends chills down the spines of Malaysians, and others across Southeast Asia. The Pontianak. She is a woman, dressed in white, with long, dark hair flowing down her back. Her presence is preceded by the sweet scent of frangipani, the flower associated with death. Her story begins with tragedy. Born from a woman who died during childbirth, the Pontianak returns as a spirit of vengeance. With a thirst for blood, she hunts the living, particularly those who remind her of the life she lost. Her scream is piercing, a sound that shatters glass and drives people to madness. But her legend isn't just rooted in the past. The Pontianak's origins are tied to an ancient belief in the balance of life and death, where disturbing the natural course of things, especially during childbirth, invokes her wrath. In some parts of Malaysia, people still take care to follow specific rituals and customs to avoid attracting her attention. Pregnant women, for example, are often cautioned to avoid certain behaviors or places where she might appear. She is more than a ghost, she is a reflection of societal fears, of the dangers and trauma surrounding the act of childbirth, and of the unresolved spirits that walk alongside the living. Her impact is felt today, as people still speak of her in hushed tones. You'll find her haunting quiet roads, construction sites, or unfinished buildings, waiting to strike, and sometimes, she's closer than you think. You're traveling now. Getting as far away from everything as you can. Somewhere rural, quiet and safe. A village offers to host you for the night. Simple house, warm people, nothing strange. At least, not at first. But around midnight, the sound begins. Music. Gentle and distant. The soft metallic notes of the gamelan floating through the air. Laughter. Plates clinking, just like a wedding, or maybe a celebration. When you step outside to have a look, there's nothing. Just jungle. The next night, it happens again. Louder. Closer. The villagers tell you, don't go into the woods. Don't follow the music. Don't look for the lights. But of course, someone always does. They call it the Hantu Jamuan. The party ghost. It's said that some spirits never let go of life's pleasures. They gather deep in the forest, throwing endless feasts, and if you hear them, it means they've noticed you. People speak of wandering into the jungle, drawn by drums and singing. They see tents. Tables piled with food. Dancers in clothes from another time. Everything feels just real enough. But if you sit down, if you take even a single bite, they own you. One urban explorer near Negeri Sembilan followed the music into the trees. He vanished for 3 days. When they found him, he was barefoot. His clothes were shredded, and he kept whispering, "They fed me, they danced around me." And he wouldn't eat for days. The strange thing is, after that, the house felt different. Quieter. No more shadows. No more nightmares. But sometimes, late at night, you still hear the music. And you wonder. Did they let you leave? Or are you still there, dancing with them? The Hantu Jamuan is a spirit trapped in eternal celebration, luring people into its feasts with music and dancing. It's often linked to the gamelan music, which is traditionally used to summon spirits, but here it leads people into a trap. In some versions of the story, those who partake in the feast lose their identities and become part of the celebration forever. The Hantu Jamuan represents spirits that can't let go of earthly pleasures, and it's said that once you've heard the music, they've already claimed you. You didn't think it would happen again, right? Not after the party, not after the music. But now, you've stumbled into something even worse. An old theme park, overgrown and fenced off. The faded signs hang loosely from rusted poles. The colors are washed out, and the smell of mildew fills the air. Mimaland. Once Malaysia's first theme park, it opened in the 1970s, full of dreams. Rides and water slides, a place for families to laugh and play. But over the years, some things went wrong. In 1993, a tragic accident occurred when a Singaporean tourist died after an incident involving a waterslide. Shortly after the accident, in early 1994, a landslide hit the area, causing significant damage to the park's infrastructure. The park was shut down in the 90s. But even now, the jungle creeps in, wrapping around its skeleton. The old slides still stand, silent. But sometimes, people hear something. Children's laughter. The sound of carousel music. Voices from the past. It's said that the land is cursed. Rituals to cleanse it were performed, but nothing worked. The spirits of those who died here, children, workers, still wander. And though Mimaland is abandoned, urban explorers can't resist. One explorer went in and didn't come out for 2 days. He returned, eyes wide, shaking. "I saw them," he whispered. "They're still waiting for the ride." There's something strange about these haunted places here. Mimaland, with its lost joy, and the towering First World Hotel, colorful, full of tourists, and yet, just as haunted. Both are built in the same area. They share the same mist, the same mountains. The past isn't buried, it's tangled. There's an old cable car that used to connect the theme park to First World. Today, obviously, the theme park is closed, but the hotel still stands, as if nothing is wrong. There are speculations that say that the energy of Mimaland bleeds into the hotel. Perhaps the same spirits who linger in the forgotten rides, now wander the hotel's colorful rooms. You've come so far. But the ghosts you've encountered, they've only been waiting. Now, the darker spirits reveal themselves. The ones that don't just follow. The ones that kill. The stories are disturbing. Not just because of what he does, but because of how. The orang Minyak is a spirit bound to the dark arts. A spirit that takes the form of a man, but covered in thick black oil. The myth says it's the result of a pact made through black magic, an exchange that calls something vile to walk the earth. He comes for the virgins. And when he does, he's quick, and he's stealthy. His slick, oily body can slither across walls. He can slip into the cracks of your home, uninvited, silent and unseen. In 2016, a school in Kelantan made headlines after dozens of students, mostly girls, reported seeing a dark, humanoid figure lurking near the bathrooms and classrooms. Some collapsed, some screamed, and some entered trance-like states. Panic gripped the school, and classes were temporarily halted. As the incident spread, so did the footage. Videos of screaming students, interviews with terrified teachers, and blurry images of the black figure began circulating on social media, racking up thousands of shares. Some claimed it was mass hysteria. Others, particularly villagers and local shamans, insisted it was a supernatural disturbance, a jinn or even the return of an orang Minyak. After all, the descriptions matched, a tall, black, shadow-like entity seen only by a few, always causing chaos in its wake. Just when you think you've escaped the clutches of the unseen, you realize, they're always with you. In Malaysia, as you've seen, the line between the living and the dead is so thin that some spirits don't just linger, they follow. Take the Saka, for instance. A curse passed down through generations, where a spirit resides within the body, offering both power and protection, but at a terrible cost. Some Malaysians claim they still feel its presence, as strange accidents or illnesses strike when the spirit is angered. Then, there's the Karak highway, known for its tragic history of accidents and disappearances. Drivers speak of phantom vehicles that seem to overtake them, or figures standing by the roadside that vanish when looked at. One of the most chilling stories is that of a family who disappeared in the 1990s, their car found abandoned but no sign of where they went. Locals still avoid the highway at night, fearing the restless spirits of those lost along its winding path. And let's not forget the Highland Towers. After the building's collapse in 1993, claiming 48 lives, rumors spread about strange occurrences in the ruins. Those brave enough to explore the area say they hear whispers or catch glimpses of shadowy figures. Locals believe the spirits of those trapped inside still linger, unwilling to rest. These aren't just isolated stories. Here, ghostly folklore weaves into daily life. The pocong, the shrouded corpse that rises from the grave, still sends shivers down the spine of anyone who encounters it. And the jiangshi, the Chinese hopping vampire, is still whispered about in abandoned buildings. In the dense jungles, villagers still speak of the penangau, the floating head that hunts the night, trailing its organs in search of victims. These aren't just tales, they are warnings passed down, as real as the people who live among them. Over here, the spirits don't just haunt places, they haunt your mind. And there are many, many, many of them. So, next time you feel a chill on the back of your neck, or hear a weird voice behind you, perhaps it's not just your imagination. Because sometimes, folklore isn't just stories, it's history, it's trauma, and it's a part of everyday life. If you enjoyed this video, I would like to ask you to hit the subscribe button, and please, let me know what countries you would like me to cover next.